What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Do Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live, morning show edition, and a Saturday. We're going to have a couple topics for us to talk about today, maybe even a little bit of video to sprinkle in for your morning show. And as you can tell from the thumbnail, are there any levels of concern that you have with the team? Yesterday, was basically a scrimmage for the Detroit Lions. You got a lot of good reports out of it, a couple question marks, and I guess that's where we're at 2 weeks into the start of the season. We've got training camp getting all packed up, players, everybody getting ready to head over to New York, get ready for a week of inter-squad activities between the two teams before they take on next Thursday an actual NFL preseason game, the first one for the Detroit Lions, well, for both teams. So I guess that's where we're going to be with today. What are you thinking so far 2 weeks in? Do you think everything is hunky-dory, good to go, nothing to worry about? Do you feel like there's a couple things the team or Brad Holmes should address? That will be the deep dive topic for today. But before we get into that, as you know, a couple real quick things. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are literally one sub away from hitting 7,100. So we now need 101 subs to get to 7,200. So if you would be so kind, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Helps the channel out. Also, if you would, hit the thumbs up button. Free of charge, takes half a second of time. And we try to get every video between 200 to 300 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but not least, outside of being a YouTuber and a coach, I am a realtor. So if you're looking to buy or sell property in one of the great state of Michigan or anywhere in the continental United States, I work primarily out of Michigan. Give me a call or shoot me a text. You see this number on the screen, 269-998-2384. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get over the first topic of today's show, and that will be 5 headlines now. So that's where we dive into 5 topics that aren't the main topic of the show. Let's go ahead and get over to it. All right, 5 headlines now. Ife Melifonwu, safeties on Lions defense can, quote, make a lot of plays. This is from Sports Illustrated, a story by Vito Chirio. So if you want to see what Ife and some of the guys in the safety position are talking about, Vito does a good interview. This is from yesterday, dives into it with the guys after practice or the scrimmage yesterday, the split squad scrimmage. And, you know, hey, it's always interesting to me to see where players think they rank, where they see themselves at, and obviously the rest of the people at their position or their competition for snaps. So Ife Melifonwu, I think he's a pretty, heady guy, someone who's got a good head on their shoulders and has a good eye for talent. If he goes ahead and talks about Brian Branch being switched over, he talks about himself, he talks about Kirby, amongst other factors, and they're all seeming to be very supportive of each other, really looking forward to diving into the season with one another into those positions. All right, Gardner White, and this isn't exactly huge news for Detroit Lions, but figured you guys would want to see it. Gardner White offers a refund on your purchase, and there are certain parameters and details. Don't ask me for those details. I don't want to be responsible for them. But if you're interested, Gardner White offers a refund on your purchase if Lions win the Super Bowl this year. So go ahead and check out Gardner White's website, maybe give him a call or whatever. Get all the specifics on it before you make any kind of quick decisions on purchasing something, because we all know the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl this year, so why not get free furniture? But check it out. Again, you want to go through them to find out all the details pertaining to those purchases and then the refund. See, Detroit Lions, Brock Wright reacts to Ben Johnson calling the tight end group, quote, the best he's been around. That's from the Detroit Free Press. I guess let's stop and ask the question. How good is this Detroit Lions tight end group? I think it's pretty good. I'd say yes, you'd have to consider it one of the best ones in the NFL, but is it legitimately, potentially, the best in the NFL? Sam Laporta, hey, nobody's going to argue it. Last year, breakout season, rookie season, maybe if it wasn't the best ever in the NFL's history by a rookie tight end, it's up there on the list, and I mean a short list. As far as Brock Wright, I think everybody understands how much other teams wanted to acquire him because he is talented, because he can be multifaceted, both in the passing game, the run blocking game. He can contribute everywhere and at a high level. I think just about all Lions fans were very, very happy that Brad Holmes in the ninth hour decided to match the contract from the San Francisco 49ers and keep him with our team. Talking to Brock Wright in the article, or excuse me, when you listen to Brock Wright or read the quotes from Brock Wright, he does mention that he thought he was out of here, but he was incredibly happy to see the Lions did want him, wanted to retain him. So go ahead and dive into that this weekend if you got a little time. All right, Detroit Lions quarterbacks dropped some dimes to receivers during training camp warmups. USA Today, Jared Ramsey. There's a video that goes with this story. I thought about showing it on air, but I was like, we're going to show some snippets from some other videos. I just didn't want this to be overly video heavy today, so I just left it out. Plus, there wasn't anybody guarding him. It was just basically pitch and catch between all the quarterbacks and the receivers. Yes, the passes are spot on. They're on the money. But again, there's no defenders. There's no rush in the quarterback's face. If you're an NFL quarterback and you can't loft it up there and let a receiver run under it when there's no pressure, I probably would have some worry. Also, another one, Jameson Williams poised for a breakout season in Detroit, Sports Grid. And there is a video slash a couple of people debating this. We are going to show that. So let's go ahead and get over that right now and let you guys see it. There's one other video I was going to throw up today for you guys just to give you guys a little bit of video stuff for the day. But all right, let's go ahead and get into this. Sorry if it takes me a half second here to get this thing going.
Big things are expected from Jameson Williams in Detroit this year.
Yeah, we need to talk about this because, look, the first 2 years, not great. First year, remember he's come back from the ACL injury, didn't do much, only had one catch last year, 24 receptions, but he was playing a ton of snaps at the end of the season. But
sorry about that, guys. There's always something in there.
Third year, former first-round pick. At some point, the lights got to go on, and what I'm told is lights going on. What I was told with him was route running needed to improve, maturity needed to improve. He had to take a big step this offseason. He's felt what I was told is the urgency, and then Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, talked about it this week, and he basically talked about the next step. He's doing all the right things. This kid is super gifted. You saw it in the playoffs. He came on a little bit, and this is his season. You got Amon-Ra, St. Brown opposite him, who signed that extension. You got Sam Laporta, the excellent tight end. If you like fantasy football like you and I do, this is the season for him. By the way, he's going late in drafts. He's going the second half of drafts because they're not sure whether to trust him because he didn't have that great season last season. But this is a year from what I understand. The maturity is hitting. The latest kind of went on. I'm expecting a big year for him. I'm expecting 60 catches or more from.
All right, so what do you guys think real quick on that? Do you think Jameson Williams is going to have the big breakout season? Personally, I think he is. That's just my opinion. I'm sure the Duke crew will jump on in and offer me their thoughts on it. All right, next video clip I'm going to give you guys is just one about the Monday, Good Morning Football, talking about, is this the year for the Detroit Lions? We'll get into that real quick. Then we'll dive into the comment section. But again, I wanted to give you guys a couple of different videos today. And not too many, but I wanted to give you guys a couple today with it being a Saturday. Just trying to throw some things a little differently up here on the show. So real quick, let me get this queued on up, get it all set up, and here we go. All right, we won't belate that point that you think y'all get it, but wanted to throw those out at you guys today and dive into it. So let's go over and get into the main topic of the day and then move on over to the Duke crew. So again, just want to throw a few videos at you guys. So without further ado, let's go into the main topic of the day. All right, so like we said at the start of the show, we are 2 weeks into training camp, And hey, there's definitely been some real good things out there. Enos Regstraw, I think everybody out there who's a Lions fan has got to be jumping up and down, for joy, thankful that we got this guy in the second round, because it is sounding like more and more, if you talk to anybody who's got, feet on the ground there, insiders, fans who watch and observed it, there were a couple of people that sent me video from the scrimmage yesterday. No, I cannot legally show it up on air because of NFL and Detroit Lions guidelines and restrictions. But if you watch a lot of it, here's what I will say. Rakestraw is a player, man, and I don't think there's much of a question about it. You hear a lot of people who say, what translates from college to the pros? What can you really look for to find diamonds in the rough here and there? One of the things with anybody who plays in the secondary is simply that, hey, if you got interceptions at one level, you're probably going to get them at the next level. There's just something to be said for people that know how to pull that off. You've got an instinct for the ball. You know how to undercut, overcut a route or whatever. You're going to start doing that at the pro level as well. Yes, the quarterbacks are better. Yes, the receivers are better. Yes, you got to learn to evolve to the game. But what we can say so far about him, and to be fair, Arnold as well, is both of them are making some plays. Rakestraw, it could just be that he's not always with the ones, he's with the twos, but he's already got a ton of interceptions in this week alone. And I think that's going to continue to translate, to this level, the NFL level, as he gets more and more involved into the defense. You're hearing about, hey, Levi Onwuzurike, we've done a ton of stuff on him this week. You heard, if you guys watched or listened to the huge show yesterday, Jeremy Risman was on there talking about Levi Onwuzurike, Broderick Martin, among other people, giving his insights. Justin Rogers giving some insights and thoughts. He really thinks it would appear that Broderick Martin may be farther along than a lot of people are chatting about, probably getting deflected somewhat because Ali McNeil is doing so well. What was I going to say? Ali McNeil and Broderick Martin, along with Levi Onwuzurike. You hear about Hutchinson's performance yesterday. All these guys were putting on very good performances and getting to the quarterback, shedding a lot of that offensive line that is so touted. So, yes, the offensive line is going to have to learn to gel a little bit, but what we can take out of it is that the defense, man, they might just be pretty good. With that being said, when we get into the regular season, we know the Rams, at least as of right now, and there's a month to go before we play them, they got some of their offensive linemen down and injured. That could be a very, very favorable matchup for the Detroit Lions if that holds true. So while we got a ton of good things coming out of Detroit, coming out of training camp so far, you do have some question marks starting to emerge. The number one, I would say, is Jake Bates. The kid has got the biggest leg in the NFL, and I don't think there's much debate on that. Not that some other guys don't have big, powerful legs, but Bates, man, he's got a rare leg. I mean, really rare. But with that also being said, his accuracy, especially this week in camp, has not been so great. There was in week 1 of training camp a lot of reports, hey, he was strong today, 6 out of 6, 7 out of 7, hitting from range. And then something seemed to happen in the last week where his accuracy went down to like 50 or 60% on a good day. That's going to obviously have to improve, or the Lions are going to have to move on from him, because you can't have a coin flip when a kicker goes out there to hit a potential game winner or add points to the board, etc. So the Lions coaching staff are going to have to address that sooner versus later, in my opinion. The next would be Hendon Hooker. Hey, we all get it. He hasn't played football in about a year and a half, whatever it's been. And yes, he's going through some growth opportunities. Now, I do have one media insider who said he actually thinks Hooker's fine. It's just you can tell two levels to Hooker's game. One, when they're going through the normal offensive system, that's where Hooker seems to be struggling, as he's probably having to think more and more. I think that I don't remember the specific quote this insider gave me, but said you can tell when he's having to read routes and read the defenses and go through the plays, recalling it all. The passes can be a little erratic, a little bit behind, a little bit off, a little high. But one thing they did point out that they were really happy with, and I'm glad they pointed this out, whenever they went to the 2-minute drill with Hooker, he took it to a whole new level because he did not have to think. He didn't have to go. He could just play the position, and that's where he really shined. So in the 2-minute drills, from what this insider gave me, Hooker looked, very, very good, outstanding. Not in any kind of threat to replace Goff in the starting lineup, but he looked very sound. ahead of Sudfield. We'll put it that way. But again, the downside of Hooker is he's still digesting a lot of information, shaking off some rust, and trying to learn all the new plays, players, how the things work in the NFL, and yes, the adjustment to the defensive systems that he's facing at this level. So those are probably my two biggest worries. Let's see if you guys have any. To be fair, I think Hooker in time is going to be just fine. So is he going to be the backup quarterback this year? We'll let the coaching staff determine that. My anticipation is yes. We'll see. But with Jake Bates, that might be my number one worry right now. If he can't regain his confidence and his accuracy, I'm not sure, big leg or not, if you're going to keep him around. All right, let's go ahead and get over to the Duke Crew, see what you guys have to say this morning. We're going to go for about an hour today, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. We'll have to see how things shake out. All right, JDC, good morning, all. Back at you. Hopefully it's a great one. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. I see Super Bowl. Woo! And good morning to you, and just for you. Always a woo-tastic morning. See, Lions fan number one, greetings and salutations, coach, and everyone else. Not really worried about anything with the team yet, but I could see where a few areas could be improved. Always, man. Always going to be areas for improvement. One other thing when we're talking about improvement and such, it does sound like Manu, while he is having some struggles with some things, he's also making some people turn their heads. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near on the field ready for some time. But if you talk to him about, if you talk to people who are watching it, or if you watch the film of yesterday's scrimmage and other workouts, when he gets hands on people, he's pretty dang good already. The problem becomes just his footwork and his hand placement. He's really erratic with it. He could be something in another year or so. And then we're going to have to wait on see on some other guys. I know Mekhi Wingo is a hot topic with a lot of people. It sounds like he did pretty well yesterday. If you watch some of the video, it's not bad. Yes, he's got stuff to improve on and learn, but it's not bad. For where he was drafted, for what his expectations realistically should be, I think he's going to be a pretty good sleeper. All right, Lions fan, good morning, JDC and Bo, 100%. Bo, back at you. Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. Yo, Coach, Dan, it reads like the scrimmage yesterday went real nice. That D-line got after the rookie corners, played great, and the offense looked good when they weren't sacked. So I would say yes. I know the reports, and if you watch the video, defense clearly at the start of things is all over the offense. The offense doesn't do much. Goff gets quote-unquote sacked a couple times. You have some real nice pass breakups by some of the people in the secondary. Derek Barnes, he might be one of the sneaky surprises of this season if everything holds form. And there's a long way between now and the season. But they're using him a lot as the Sam. They're sending him on blitzes a lot in camp. Will that translate to the regular season? I think so. Because it seems like the Lions defense, they want the opposite edge this year, opposite Hutchinson, to be more of basically another defensive tackle. Basically, they want people to set the edge, eat up blockers, eat up space, and allow blitzers a little bit more freedom. That would seem to hold true with what AG wanted last year, where they have delayed blitzes from the linebacker or slot corners or whatever. So I think we've all been talking about how aggressive we're anticipating. Thank you. The defense to be this year, and I think that's going to hold true big time. See, JDC, I ain't concerned. Go Lions, 100%. Good morning. See, Volteron, good morning, all. Bates is hitting the wall. Guy might have a leg, but he's not accurate, it sounds like. It really seems like it changes day to day with him. And maybe one thing we should say is this guy wasn't a kicker in high school, wasn't in college. He was a kickoff specialist. Really, it wasn't until a year ago where he started, quote unquote, kicking. So he probably does have a lot of upside, a lot of mechanics to work on, but you're going to have to get through some of those pains. And if he is the kicker for the Detroit Lions this year, it might be a coin toss this year if he makes them or not. You probably, I would say, going to want to keep him real easy kicks to get that confidence up before you get him back to, UFL Jake Bates. See, all right, Mike the Marine Gunny. Howdy, Dan and Duke Crew. Welcome to Woosville. There you go. And good morning to you, Gunny. See, JDC. Hi at you, Lions fan number one. There you go. Steve Rogers, greetings, salutations. I'm thinking our defense might just be pretty good. And I think you're right, man. I'm just not seeing, at least so far, any areas of concern or worries. Davis has been performing better and better in the cornerback spot. Brian Branch, we all get it. Dude's a stud playmaker. The linebackers, so far, sound pretty good. And that's the thing. So far, everything sounds good. I would say the one area that has really caught my eye is it's the defensive line. Just how deep they are, how much they can rotate, and how much pressure they're getting on the quarterbacks. And this is against our offensive line, which I would say most would consider one of the better ones in the NFL. Bo Bates just finished a season where he did a lot of kicking. Considering the pressure he is now faces, I'm thinking he can do it, but might have to get some positive coaching to excel. Yeah, they're going to have to pick him up and help him through some of this. Yes, he's struggling. Yes, he's probably in his own head. Get him through it, and I think he got something. Say, so small. Good morning, Duke Crew. Woo! Good morning to you, too. Robert, I believe our biggest weakness is if Goff goes down. I would agree. If something happens to Goff, you're probably in a world of hurt. But with that also being said, that's probably true for just about every NFL team. Very, very few NFL teams have a legitimate backup quarterback that can be a game changer. We might end up having one with Hooker because he does have a lot of physical raw skills. It's just he does not know the NFL game yet. But maybe he can get there this year with some great coaching. Jesse, what's going on, everybody? Question mark. My worry is starting to be with the backup quarterback spot. Not sure how I feel about either guy, but not sure who's out there that would be any better. And that's probably, I guess, from the coaching standpoint, that's probably where I'd be at with it. Maybe you can find a veteran quarterback who's worth something, but I'm just not sure if they're going to have the upside potential of Hooker. And nothing against Nate Sudfeld. He may be the greatest human being on earth. I get it sounds like he's having a pretty good camp, but they also said that last year about him. I guess I don't know. I guess I'd be, if it's me, I'm rolling with Hooker just because I think there's more upside there. But if they do have any kind of legitimate worries after, say, the second preseason game, I might pull the trigger to find a more veteran backup quarterback if I'm not fully invested in Nate Sudfeld. All right, Robert, greetings and salutations. Back at you. Jess, right, Robert? There you go. Miles Barker, good morning. Let's see. Who will chase and stop the mobile quarterback types? Could be important, become playoffs. Yeah, and I think a lot of how they're setting up this year's schemes are to try to stop mobile quarterbacks with basically the hybrid 4-3 system that they're using. It's more, in my opinion, it's more of a 3-4 in the fact that the third end or the other end opposite Hutchinson is basically a defensive tackle in all namesake. Like Sue would have been really good at that back in his prime. He would have been great at that spot. But we'll see how things shake out with all the blitzing we're going to do as well, or as much as I'm anticipating. If those first three guys in the middle, so DJ Reader, Levi when he's in there, Ali McNeil, hold that line, I think you're going to have a lot of flexibility now for that off end opposite Hutch to either get after the quarterback or also hold the line and force the gaps, allowing more blitzing from the linebackers or like I've said before, the corners or whatever. So we'll see what they do over time, but I think it'll be a little bit tougher for quarterbacks to get out and shake and bake on us this year. Doesn't mean nobody will ever do it, but I do think they're going to make it tougher. See, Robert, is Tannehill still available? I believe so, but don't hold me to that. I haven't checked on him in a while. Clark, good morning, all of you wild and crazy kids. Just keep developing the guys we have. That's what these coaches do. I trust them. Hard to go against anything these coaches will do, I guess, this season, because what they've done in the prior seasons just has, I would assume, built up trust with all the fan base, or at least most of them. Robert, I believe the pressure will have up front will keep the running quarterbacks less running. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think they're going to have a lot better gap integrity this year, especially when you look at the guys that are in there. My anticipation is last year, at the start of the year, they kept mobile quarterbacks in bay by using that horseshoe formation. My guess is your big end, dominant end opposite Hutch, along with the two interior defensive tackles, that's going to be their primary responsibility is to collapse that middle pocket so they can't escape up the middle or in those A and B gaps. And that's going to allow Hutchinson and probably a blitzing backer or safety to come in on the opposite side and get the pressure. Brent, good morning, everyone. Agreed. If Goff goes down and Hooker is our number 2, I believe Ben Johnson can work enough magic to still get us into the playoffs. But a Super Bowl victory isn't realistic. Yeah, who knows? I mean, you'd have to have a real Kurt Warner type story where the backup comes in and ends up being some Hall of Famer. Maybe that's Hendon Hooker. Maybe that's Nate Sutfield. Maybe it's somebody on the streets right now that I don't know. See, Big Eddie, greetings, salutations, everyone. One thing I am honestly impressed with is the reports about the group of rookies. It's sounding better than I thought. So start with that. Your first and second round picks sound like they're doing just a awesome job. Manu is doing a great job. Your third round pick this year is basically Carlton Davis. Hey, we get it. He's a former All-Pro, doing great. Baki, he sounds like he's been doing very well as also. Outside of that, we've talked about Wingo, but it is real possible, I guess, to summarize, that Brad Holmes and the scouting department have hit another home run with this rookie class. Wait and see until the end of the season before we make any kind of real determinations. But so far, there's been no real red flags, no real thoughts about, man, this guy's underperforming. So far, all the news is good. See, Patrick, good morning, Coach, and the rest of the Duke crew. My only concern is complacency. They need to stay 100% focused on each team as they come. I have no real concerns with the talent they have. Yeah, if they can do that, if they cannot lose focus, Patrick, I think this team could be a monster for other NFL teams. Bo, how many times did a QB escape the pocket because the inside lanes were opened? Yeah, and that's where I think they're going to try to focus on limiting that this year. It's going to happen at some point, even if you're the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens. Somebody's going to make a play at some point. It's just limiting how often that happens. So I'm with you on that, Bo. Robert, believe in Brad Holmes. He will provide, Yes, and I agree. Believe in him until the day comes where he loses our belief, I guess. Brett, if Hooker hasn't taken any major leaps by the end of the preseason, then I'm going to be concerned for sure. Yeah, and, he makes some good plays. He makes some bad plays. And again, the positive I like out of talking to a couple guys in the media yesterday, one in particular, I loved it when he said, when he gets the 2-minute drill, he looks like a completely different quarterback. He looks like an NFL vet. He looks like all the hype you heard of him coming out of college. It's just right now, in that setting, I take it as he doesn't have to think. He's just out there reacting. When it's before the 2-minute drill, he's still processing all the different lanes, the route trees, the negotiating between the quarterbacks and the receivers, tight ends, etc. And that's why some of the passes are a little bit behind or a little bit off, because his brain is still processing it all. To me, as a coach, I look at that as he's going to be fine once he gets another couple weeks in or a month into the season. And some of that stuff now goes from short-term to long-term memory where he no longer has to process it. It just, kind of happens. See, Robert, Dan Campbell won't let them be complacent. I agree with that. That him and the coaching staff are going to be all over him. Phil, anyone know why crunch time wasn't on last night? Can't answer that one. I have no clue. See, Chamir, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Hopefully you're having a great one. Stephanie, good morning, boys. ! Holmes and the coaches have done nothing but build this team from the ground up. At this point, whatever they do, I support. I think that's the way you got to go with it, 100%. Say, Doug, no worries, really. I'm not looking for some miracle from outside the team. What we need is right here with our team. One concern is Bates, but he may just rely on fourth downs instead, scoring more points. It could be. And, hey, stay with who you are, improve upon it, learn from it, and keep things going. So I'm all for that if that's what they want to do. Patrick, in your opinion, if Goff gets hurt, I believe Hooker will be able to fill in and fine, and there will be not be any real harsh drop off due to his inexperience. Yeah, I think at that point, let's just Scooby-Doo this. Let's say Goff gets hurt. Ben Johnson it's gonna all come down to him, in my opinion. You got to put then Hooker in a spot where he's able to succeed. Whatever his strengths are. That's part of a coach. You don't run the same offense for guy A as you do guy B if they have completely different ability sets. So you would have to make some adjustments. And the good part is I fully anticipate throughout the preseason, Hooker's going to get a ton of snaps. You're going to have a real good idea what he's comfortable with by the time we play week 1 of the regular season, what he's not yet evolved into. So, trust in Ben Johnson, if that happens, to put Hooker in a good spot to succeed. Robert, you're right. Bates is untested, but he should be fine. Yeah, get him over some of the humps, and stuff. You got a month until the regular season begins. A lot can change between now and then. If he goes out, say this week and has some, 5 out of 5 performances, 6 out of 6 performances or whatever, then hey, that confidence will start coming back up in a hurry. See, Detroit D, greetings, salutations, everyone. Back at you, D. Hopefully you have an outstanding one, my friend. France, good evening, all. Just keep the team growing, improving. If we can do that, then we are better than 70% of the teams in the NFL. I would go with that. I would agree with that. Patrick, France, Fernand, spot on. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, because most teams don't have the talent you have, especially the youth of the talent. So just keep that talent, trending upwards. You don't need huge gains from week to week. Can you get 1% better this week? And use this as an example. If as a coach, you've got whatever it is, man, 22 weeks until the playoffs or whatever it is, if you can get 1% better each week with everything you do on the team, then you are 22% better by the time you hit the playoffs. That's a massive amount of improvement for a team, especially one as young as the Detroit Lions. All right, Doug, I've seen enough of Sudfeld to know he can be adequate with such a powerful offense. We have quite a few assets for him, even him to employ. Yeah, if need be. Last year, it sounds like he had a very good camp. This year, it sounds like he's having a better camp. They've got some options at quarterback. I still think they're probably going to roll with Hooker, but I've been wrong before. See, Darcy, Bates and Hooker will be fine. Doesn't mean they will be perfect, but they are developing. Agreed on that, 100%. Robert, who wants to beat the bejesus out of the Rams? I'm going to guess A. I know I called for the Lions to score 40-some points opening week against the Rams. I think they're going to win by about 30. That's my opinion, and we'll see if Dan O'Damas is correct on that. And the Bears, yes. How about just Robert, let's just say this. Let's just beat the bejesus out of every team we play. Let's win on average by, how about, we'll keep it humble. We'll say 39 points a game. All right, Robert, and the Packers. Hello, everyone. Buddy, hello to you, too. Let's see, Bo, the Rams are first to fall, 100%. Yeah, first team up, first team down. See, Trey, what's good, y'all? Question mark. Madden 25 rankings were kind of disrespectful for us, I thought. I can't comment on that. I just haven't seen the rankings yet. I'll probably take a peek at it at some point, maybe even after the show today, now that you brought it up. I know that from what I've seen so far, St. Brown's one of the better wide receivers in the league. Outside of that, I don't really know many of the rankings, but if you guys know them already, go ahead and throw them in the comment section. Doug, the last thing I see is complacency. Maybe you could have said that a month or so ago, but watching the camp, this team is dialed into the challenges. Yeah. And I think when you constructed this team, when you took the guys with the mentality of, Aiden Hutchinson, of Amon-Ra St. Brown, you add in the mentalities of the coaching staff too with that. You got everybody's wired a certain way where they want to succeed. They just don't want to ever be overlooked again. Even though he's kind of a quiet, ho-hum kind of guy overall, Jared Goff, I don't think he ever wants to go back to what he experienced getting, cut from the team or whatever you want to say in LA. So I think that's always going to be a part of most of the guys on the team where they are so, I don't want to say afraid, but so don't ever want that kind of experience again. They're going to run through a wall to make sure that they can get to the promised land and not get overlooked. All right, Lions Fanatic Berg time. Good morning, Bergs, by the way. Thanks for all you do for the show. Good morning, Dan of the Duke Crew! Exclamation points. 1 week closer. Woo! 100% with that, my friend. 100%. AJ, good morning. Back at you. Hookadoo, good morning. Coach Dan and the Elite Duke Crew. Roar. Good morning to you, Hooks. And yes, good morning. And hey, we do have a pretty elite crew here. See, Gary, good morning. Duke Crew, back at you. Robert, Jason, how is the Tree of Destiny doing? Hope it isn't in the attic. Hey, hopefully, yeah, we're getting pretty close to a couple months from now. That thing's probably out and about. Buddy, woo! And just for you, we'll throw a woo your way. Probably should have went with the Sheila Ford Hamp woo there, but we'll save that for the next one. Phil, biggest weakness of the Lions is the third quarter meltdown. Yes, I will agree with that. Let's hope they fix that this year. If they do that, man, this team will be dangerous. Doug, I don't think they will panic in adding a quarterback until they get really good look at Hooker and Sudfeld in those first two exhibition games, and then the Giants team practice. Hooker could surprise. We'll see. Yeah, it's somebody that's been off that amount of time, and from, again, not to beat the dead horse, but where you hear where he's struggling and where he doesn't struggle, I think it's just a matter of time until he's going to be okay on both sides, both situations offensively. See, Patrick, as far as Hooker goes, it still surprised me as just to how many armchair quarterbacks think they know more about someone than the people who do the drafting. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have done a superb job so far. I think you're spot on with that, man. There are so many people that remember just months ago that said, hey, don't even give Goff a contract. Just go with Hooker. Now, in the future, maybe that is what the team does. But in the here and now, what Goff does, I think, gets overlooked a lot. We all probably at this point get he's one of the NFL's best at play action passes. Yes, he's not beating my 87-year-old mom in a foot race down the sideline, but it's just not who he is. He's good at what he is. Go to his strengths, not his weaknesses. I'm just happy that, hey, we've got both guys. So at some point in the future, if the situation arises, you've got quality at both the first and second quarterback on the team. See, Dylan, good morning, Coach. Woo! And you know what? Good morning to you too, Dylan. Hopefully, I'm a great one, and just for you. There, we got Sheila on the show. All right, Kurt, what up, though? Duke Crew, what up to you, man of steel? Hopefully, you're doing well. Robert, Sunday at 9/8 at 9/8 at 8:20 p.m. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Yes, as far as week one, we'll go with that. See, Bo, let's see what they can do preseason. I'm hooked on a feeling. Hey, I see what you did there. See, Motown, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Lions ruling, Bears drool, 1,000%. Broski, other than the offensive line, the Lions aren't deep at all. I'm sticking to facts. Let's have a logical discussion. All right, we'll see. I would disagree with you there, but hey, that's to each their own. See, Kurt, kicker. All right, we'll kick it. Phil, interesting stock trading day yesterday. It was. It was a great week last week. It was probably overall, this was the best month of the year for me. I can't speak for anyone else, but hey, no red days. All right, Motown Mitch, biggest concern is still the same as has that secondary gel yet. Cal, they come 2-5. All right. I think they can come together 100%. I think they will. It doesn't mean it's going to be, bright as rain by the time week one of the regular season happens. But I do believe we've got a lot of real good things here. And if that defensive front continues to be what we're anticipating it to be, it's going to help that secondary out real nice. Let's see, Motown together as a unit. Yeah, they'll come together as a unit, no doubts. Let's see, Kurt Broski Bear, your facts kill me. Hey, one man's facts is another man's question mark. I'll go with that. Let's see, Brent Bates missing extra point attempts doesn't fill me with confidence. Yeah, if you see the video, he hits it off the crossbar. It must have been, in my opinion, watching it, it must have been something with his foot placement because he misses that extra point. It hits the crossbar and boom, boom, shakes right off. A little while later, from the same hash, he kicks it and he hits the same crossbar. Not exactly the same spot, but pretty dang close. So that's something I think they can clean up with coaching. So give it time. But he does need to get more accurate for sure. Rocky, good Coach Rock, I should say, by the way. Good morning, all. Still a little worried about AG coaching this defense until he can prove otherwise. I would say this. I thought he did a really good job last year. When you consider how bad that secondary is and the fact that you're within a Vildor holding on to the face mask bounce pass from Purdy in the third quarter. I mean, Vildor catches that and gives us the ball back after the missed fourth down. You take points away from San Francisco. Obviously, they catch the bounce miraculously and score a couple plays later. You take those points away. You eat up more clock. You win. Cam Sutton drops 2 interceptions. So, I mean, everybody's got to have different opinions. I just think when you have that bad a secondary and you get to where they were, you probably work some magic at least. See, Broski, let's break it down. Lions are extremely thin at defensive end. I would disagree. Defensive tackle, I think you're incredibly off, Broski. I think we might be one of the deepest teams in the league at defensive tackle. Linebacker, I mean, there's probably some debate there. Tight end, I would also say, man, I think you're way off there. Wide receiver, probably some unproven guys, but hey, how do you get proven? You go out on the field and prove yourself. You have plenty of warm bodies to play cornerback and safety, but it's a very average unit, much like your linebacker unit. I would say, especially at the safety position, I would disagree. Cornerback position, I'm also going to probably disagree with you there. All right, Motown, Broski, there is nothing logical about that. All right. Kurt Steele, how deep is the Bears, Broski? That's a big question. Let's see. Detroit D, Booker Bear, Broski Bear, please seek counseling. You're truly delusional, bro. Yeah, a little bit here. All right, Derek, good morning, coach and crew. I still think wide receiver room is the biggest weakness found by the quarterback room. It could be. I mean, for sure, Derek, there's a lot of question marks about the wide receiver room, but I'll also say this. The first two guys, if Jameson ends up being what we're seeing in camp, that's probably going to alleviate a lot of the worries. Now, if you throw in Khalif Raymond, Green, Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think they start to develop into something. Could Fountain or somebody else, Williams, emerge? That's also a possibility. See, John, good morning. All hope everyone's doing good today. Same to you, John. Johnny V, is it true there's no incremental cuts this year? Correct. I heard they go straight from 90 to 53 on August 27th. That is correct, Johnny V. Correct. Hey, Ken, it's good to see you, my friend. Greetings, salutations, Dan of the Duke Crew. Just here for the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that, folks. Woo! Thank you for that, Ken. And hey, that was real nice of you, man. Real nice of you. All right, see, Ken, and the great content, too. Hey, anytime, man. I enjoy this, and we all make this show work. So thank you very much for that. Brent Brosi, the depth we're deep enough to win the North. That's facts. I'll go with that. Brosi, Kurt Steele, Bears' weakness is offensive line, and they are starting a rookie quarterback. Other than that, they are deep at every position. Ask me about a specific position group, and I'll break it down. All right. Brent Broski, we're deep enough to win the North. That's fact. Let's see. Motown Mitch Broski thought we were being logical. It happens. You know, not everybody's logical. John, Lee McNeil is the real deal. It is sounding like he's having a monster camp. Now that just needs to translate to the regular season. He had some good pressures and sacks. If you watch the video, he did a real good job yesterday. Kurt, I watched your second, and it didn't look good. Yeah, that's a thought. Let's see. Brosi, Lions aren't deep at tight end. I would disagree. Brock Wright, yeah, he put up real good numbers last year, you know, considering his snap count, and you look at how many other teams try to acquire him. You're getting happy about Laporta and acting like that counts as depth. Well, you just named two guys, and most teams only typically carry three. So, I mean, I don't know. That's like 66.66% of your defense, or excuse me, your tight end group. See, Patrick, facts are facts. Broski Bear, when the Lions make cuts, the Bears are going to try and sign our cast-offs. Could be a lot of truth to that. And the Bears won't be alone in that regard. See, Brent, agreed, Patrick. Bo, Aiden, and Liam are the Hullabaloo Crush crew. Yes, and I think you're going to have a whole lot of names coming out of that group. I think they're going to be pretty special this year. See, Phil, will Ben be the next Bears head coach? Let's hope not, but it is a possibility. John, no Phil? Brent, could be Phil. All right. Broski, Bears have the deepest tight end. Yeah, well, we'll see, man. I'd see Brent, Broski, your guys have no chemistry yet. That will take time. It will. All right, Patrick, let's see, Broski Bear, is that all? That's all you got? Don't get high on yourself. Phil, will Houston make the team? I think so, but I also get it's going to be a battle for anybody trying to make the team. I think the Lions are very, very deep at the defensive line, and you're seeing that emerge more and more, especially with the system that I think they're going to try to employ this year. Yeah, I think you might see more of an emphasis. You know, I've already talked about on the show, but basically the interior of the line, just holding the line, keeping the A and B gaps so mobile quarterbacks, if they're going to escape, they got to loop out and get round and wide, which is going to probably go into someone like Hutchinson, a blitzing linebacker or safety. All right, Broski, ask me questions about Bears depth at positions, and I'll break it down. Robert, yes, JMO. I will agree on JMO. Let's see, John, poor Broski just doesn't get it. Let's see, Bo, 60 or more catches sounds good for me. 100% there. All right, let's move off the Broski Bear chat a little bit. That's becoming a little dominant here. Brent, I see JMO getting 1,000 yards from scrimmage, receiving and rushing, 10 to 12 TDs. And now that would be a great season. Derek, if Saint goes down and JMO doesn't have a breakout year, we're cooked. It would cause some problems for sure. But you know what you just described, I would think it would affect most teams for sure. Most teams don't have two dominant wide receivers. The Lions have some potential for it if Jameson breaks out, but it's potential. We haven't seen it yet. Kurt Brosberry, you have good names at linebackers that start, but who's your backup linebackers? Can you start them long term? That's a real question. See, Robert, you should have. We should sign Donovan Adams or Devontae Adams. Excuse me. Could be Rocky. Please don't use JMO on any return teams. Don't need that. Bad things can happen. Yeah, I don't think they're going to. That's my guess, at least, that they won't. Let's see, Bo. If we get the worst case, if Goff goes down, if Sun God or whatever happens, A lot of ifs could happen. I'm not worried. Yeah, I mean, you could do that with every team. If this happens, if that happens, your team will change, especially if it's a quarterback or a prominent offensive player. I'd say, Robert, hey, Kurt Steele. Right, yep, Broski, I could have clarified chemistry on offense. There you go. Doug, best case scenario is happening. We don't have Sutton as a number one cornerback. Just think about that for a minute. You are correct there. And no disrespect for Cam Sutton. He should have never been the number one cornerback. See, Gun Guy, remember when everyone said Hooker would be better than Goff and take his job? Yes, I do. There were a lot of people on that wagon. See, Bo, Doug, addition by subtraction. Now there's some truth. See, Johnny B, the sky is not falling if we start the season 2-2, keep the grit and keep the faith. I'm personally saying we're going to start 8-0, but we will have to wait and see. Alliance Fanatic Burger Time. It will be the first preseason game since it's in my backyard. Go Lions. Woo! Yes, I will be at the first preseason game. We'll go enjoy it and have a great time. Burger Time. Doug, Bo Booth, you got it, buddy, 100%. Chuck E. Cheese, good morning, Coach the Duke Crew. Woo! Go Lions, 100%. Chucks, and hey, you have a great one. See, Johnny B, there's at least 20 men on every NFL team that will risk life and limb to make an NFL roster. Preseason means something. For you are 100% right with that. There are going to be a lot of guys trying to make their career, stay around, trying to make this team. Even though they have the potential to get picked up by somebody else, you know if you make this team, you don't have to go through that mess. All right, Dwayne, Jack Campbell is a concern. Let's hope he makes that nice leap in year 2. All right, Brent, Captain Jack will be even better this year. No concern for me on that one. Yeah, it sounds like he's doing well. Sounds like if you talk to the coaches that he is progressing. Hey, he did have the back end of last year. I thought he really started to grow and develop. But, you know, if you want everybody to be Gibbs or Laporta as rookies, that's probably unrealistic expectations. See, Robert, Jack Campbell's a stud. Might just be this year. Bo, I had to change my portrait pick. Ric Flair hair. There you go. Go with it and hopefully enjoy it. See, John, Jack Campbell's a stud. Might be by the end of this year. See, the Lions Fanatic Burger Time. Love our roster and our bottom defensively best one in decades. Top to bottom defensively best in decades. Roar restored. I think, yes, the Roar is going to continue to be restored this year. So you are correct on that, Burger Time. See, Brent, nice pick, Bo. There you go. Laughing out loud. John, I'm just agreeing with you, Robert. All right. Johnny V, healthy offensive line depth is my concern. Yeah, it sounds like the Lions have been, addressing it with some of these signings lately. Hey, if Penei Sewell goes down or Taylor Decker, that's going to be tough to replace. One of them could probably be survivable. Replacing both, that would probably be a nightmare scenario. But hey, hopefully that doesn't emerge. JDC Bo Booth, that's exactly what I thought. I'll go with that. Broski, I think Don Bird makes a good point the other week. Lions have named player at almost every level of their team, both sides of the ball, but the depth isn't the best. There's question marks because there are so many young guys. But, how you remove those question marks? Give them an opportunity to go out there in the preseason or in the regular season and see what they can do. Let's see, Burger Time. I agree about Robert. Jack is a stud. He's another one that will have a great season. I agree. JDC, hey, Broski. Bo, how incredible we talking about the Lions' depth. Yes, if that's the biggest concern we have, I would say this. I think this year's Lions team is one of the deepest in the NFL, without a question. We'll see if that holds true long term, but that's my personal belief. See, Chuck, what do you got? If Bates can't cut it, then oh well. It's not like we needed or have a kicker anyways. We needed to have a kicker anyways, so I'll go with that. See, JDC, tick, tick, tick. I saw on the Tree of Destiny. I agree. Robert Broski, how is Caleb doing at pre-snap reads? It will, predict his accent. All right. Robert, looks like the Tree of Destiny. It probably is the Tree of Destiny. Brent Taylor over Fox. No way, Broski. Johnny V, Houston might be Hutchinson's sub, roughly 20% of the snaps. That could definitely be something that emerges. It's all going to come down to how they use them, in my opinion. So wait and see. See, JDC, Robert, yes, a thumbs up. JDC, Tree of Destiny, rocks always. See, Robert Broski, it will take real game snaps and time. Good luck. Not too good, though. All right. Johnny V, I hear Henry could be a cheap, inexperienced backup quarterback option. Could be an option for sure. Patrick Broski Bear, no matter how much you try to talk up the Bears, they will still be the same old Bears. All right. Chuck E. Cheese, if something was to happen to the quarterback room, you know what I mean. I wouldn't be too worried because we have a really good team. Yes, we do have a really good team. John, yes, Broski, I agree. Dan Carlton Davis isn't a former All-Pro. He's never made a Pro Bowl in 6 years. Look it up. You are getting that from. All right, fair enough. Let's see, Patrick Broski Bear, I'll see. Yes. All right, all right, we're moving on from the Broski Bear stuff. Come on, it's dominating chat too much. So, if you guys can, try not to have 50,000 different comments. Let everybody get into the comment section, John, let's see, Detroit and Cleveland in the Super Bowl. Detroit will win, though. I agree with that. Yes, that would be nice, though, to have an old school 50s throwback. JDC, Dre Forge rocks. Chuck E. Cheese, too late to sign a backup quarterback. Got to go with Hooker. All right, fair enough. I think you can still add someone, especially if it's a really good, veteran quarterback, somebody who's been in the league. They'll be able to pick up the terms, the technology, the plays fairly quickly. Let's see, Patrick John, that would be awesome. T-Roll, Jordan Love took 2 or 3 years. Goff is the starter. Give Hooker some time. Yeah, not everybody comes in ready to blaze and be the greatest of all time. Week 1, they're in camp. See, Demetrius, good morning, Lions family. Woo! Good morning to you too. JDC, Lions Talk Live, rocks. Thank you for that. And you know what? The Do Crew rocks. Let's see, Hookadoo, I would agree on that, John and Patrick. Neither team ever in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that'd be great if they could get them both in there. See, JDC, if Bo Booth looking at the proverbial 70s rock star, new thumbnail rocks. Yes, that was a good picture of Bo there. And see, guitars and the guns, broski. Oh, yeah. Dominic Phillips, see, good morning from Texas. Good morning to you too. Moonscar, hit that like button and share the link. Likes Lions Talk Live. Thanks for that, and good to see you, my friend. That still cracks me up, that thumbnail. Let's see, Broken, what do you got? Broken tubing. How soon will the Bears destroy this quarterback? We'll have to wait and see how that goes this season. Let's see, Kurt Steele. Yeah, I had to take the Browns to the Super Bowl. Yes, have the Browns and the Lions in the Super Bowl. I'll go with that. Bo, you are the Duke Crew, Lord Vermont Broski, and Don Burr is the Harry Potter. Ooh, there you go. And see, Patrick, Coach, you should add a Lions roar to your sound effects. That's not a bad idea at all, Patrick. I might get on that. Scott, what do you got? Yeah, Dan, JMO said he's never got that close to winning before and then losing. So he's extra focused as well. He's focused, he's maturing, he's being developed, he's being coached. If you watch this show for a while, you know that I've talked about it. My opinion, watching him when he entered the NFL, he just didn't look like he'd been taught a lot about being a wide receiver, just forced to use his athleticism. And to me, that's a real damning statement about both Alabama and Ohio State. They didn't coach this kid up, in my opinion, much at all. See, Bo, Patrick, I like the GMG roar. Yeah, maybe I could go with that, 100%. Let's see, JDC, the woo rocks. There you go. Demetrius, Kurt Steele, what up, though? What up, Kurt? Patrick, Broski Bear laughing out loud. We'll see. I believe Hooker is hands down better than Williams. All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Both of them are basically rookies this year. We'll see how it unfolds for both men. See, Kurt Steele, Demetrius Stewart, what up, though? Patrick, Broski Bear, maybe, but it tastes so good. It does. Let's see, Broski, Motown Mitch, Kurt Steele, hit me with some questions. Let's discuss. All right, Dwayne, what do you got? Houston is a beast. He is. I think he's going to make the team. See, Moonscar, Lions, it has legit chance to go to the Superdome. No chance to go to the Superdome this year. The Bears, no chance to go to the Superdome this year. Also ran status. Yes. Let's see. Bo 14-3. That is his prediction. I'm assuming for the Lions this year. See, Don Hooker doesn't have it between the ears like Goff. He doesn't have the experience for sure. Goff's been in the league 8-9 years. Hooker, this is really year 1 for him. So I think he's going to be fine in time. Patrick, if anything bad happens to Lions wide receivers or quarterback, we will still have the best running backs in the NFL. We do have, I think, one of the better tandems in all the NFL. And on a side note, it sounds like Knight is having a very good camp. So will Craig Reynolds make the team? I think Baki is going to make it just because of his status, plus his upside, especially on special teams. but there could be a real debate whether or not Craig Reynolds or Knight makes the fourth running back spot. See, Broski, Don Cheadle, I agree. I also think Jameson Williams doesn't have it between the ears like St. Brown does. Hey, you don't have to be St. Brown to be great. And I think Jameson Williams, I think he's doing pretty good and maturing very quickly. See, Chuck E. Cheese, nothing will happen. Let's stay positive. I agree with that. Hookadoo, yep, 14-3, go Lions. Let's see, Don, SOB, not sure what you're going with that. Same old Bears, maybe. Same old Bears. All right. Courtney, we're good. Go Lions. Woo! I agree on that. Let's see, Kurt Steele, Bruce Berry, yes, I am. Retired U.S. Army. Yes, 26 years, 16 days, 2 hours in Afghanistan. That's a long time, man. That is a long time. 26 years. Wow, that was a while. JDC, take care, Bruce Berry. Safe travels. Let's see, Kurt Steele, Lions Talk Live. That's not what I meant about the Browns. Fair enough. Let's see, Patrick, when you watch Jameson's interviews from year one to this year, you can really see his growth and maturity. Yeah, and that's I think where we all have to try to remember sometimes. A lot of these guys are kids when they're drafted. I mean, in every sense, they are a kid. I can only speak for myself. When I was 20 or 21, I was not the most mature individual out there. And probably by the time I was 24, I was more mature. I think that's kind of what you have here. Plus, you look at Jameson Williams' personality type. He's an introverted personality type. So, it's going to take a little bit more for him to grow into being comfortable around new people, new settings, and with a lot of new responsibilities as far as what the NFL and, post-college life brings. See, Hookadoo, I had to scratch my head on that, Kurt, laughing out loud. All right. Patrick, St. Brown and J-Mo have two different styles as wide receivers. Yes, very much. And different personalities. See, Bo, happy trails. See y'all all done and dusted. See y'all tomorrow. See you then. Have a great day, my friend. Miles, Lions, 100%. Kurt, Roosevelt, there's not a lot of wide receivers with St. Brown's football IQ. Yeah, it'd be like saying, hey, if you're not Michael Jordan, you're not much. And I would respectfully disagree with that. Johnny V, the Bears' depth in his kneecaps and, yes, his stuff. There we go. Let's see. Moonscar, all rocking out. JDC, happy trails, go Lions. Victory, 100% with that. See, Doug, Coach Dan, thanks for running a mature chat. Good day here. Yes, I thought it was a very good one. Yeah, I knew where you were going with that, man. At least I was guessing where you're going with that. So, all right, guys, we'll get out of here. It's been an hour. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that push for 7,200 subs. So we're about 100 subs away. In fact, we just hit 71. So there you go with that. If you also, before you leave, if you be real quick, hit a thumbs up button. Help try to get every episode to 200 to 300 or more thumbs up. Surely would be thankful. Other than that, take care. Have a great day. And we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until